Chris Evans has been the Human Torch, Captain America, and is about to be Buzz freaking Lightyear. So how exactly do you spend all those checks from Disney? While he hasn't exactly purchased Avengers Tower, Evans has bought some of the nicest homes money can buy. Back when he was known more for playing the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four, Evans picked up a solid Hollywood Hills home for $1.2 million. For 2007 Chris Evans, this was a pretty solid home. 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,386 square feet, a state-of-the-art gourmet kitchen, and a private deck is quite the starter place. It also has a private spa and plenty of wide-open spaces. It's a very classy home that reinforces the idea that he's a humble guy, but not too humble. Eventually, he sold the home for $1.4 million, once the Avengers money started coming in. In April of 2013, he purchased a ranch-style 4,599 square foot mid-century home for $3.52 million. Located on nearly an acre of prime Laurel Canyon real estate, this home was built in 1940 before getting majorly renovated. It has 3 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, a pool/hot tub combo, and what looks like a personal yoga space. Of course, the real sell for this house is its amazing view. I mean, looking at the sunrise from that place with a cup of coffee is the perfect way to spend those Marvel millions. Unfortunately, it's been reported that this $3.5 million paradise has been mostly abandoned since the pandemic began. Once it was clear that the world would be spending most of their time indoors, Evans decided to spend that time in his Boston place. Throughout the pandemic, Chris decided to stay closer to home. He was originally from Boston and moved in with his brother Scott Evans. There's not much known about this private little Evans Brothers estate, but we do know that it's what Chris considers home. He even described life working on Defending Jacob in Boston as basically a normal 9-to-5 job. He would even call his mother to give her a little notice before he showed up for dinner. Expect to see more of him in Boston, as rumor has it he's looking to settle down now that he's over 40. While it's pretty cute that he's bunking with his bro, I hope he gets a nice Boston home soon enough. So if you're a Captain America fan like me, you were probably hoping that Chris Evans would have an epic motorcycle collection. Steve Rogers would definitely own at least a few Harleys. Well, sorry to disappoint, but Evans made it explicitly clear that if given the choice, he'd rather ride a horse than a motorcycle. Chris Evans does have a car collection that has all of the flash and surprising modesty that you wouldn't expect from someone worth $80 million. The car that Chris gets spotted in the most is his Lexus ES350. It is a classy and comfortable car that he's often been photographed driving around with his dates. It goes for about $40,000, which is almost nothing for the star of a mega franchise that has made more than $23 billion thanks to him. That's by far his most humble car, though. Like his co-star Tom Holland, Chris Evans loves to drive an Audi. Tom was a spokesperson for Audi and has since acquired 5 of them. Evans doesn't love them that much, but he did go back for seconds. First up is his Audi A8L, a car that's also been driven by MCU star Angelina Jolie. It's a luxurious ride with a supercharged 333 horsepower 3.0-liter V6 engine. It shows off how Chris likes a smooth ride more than anything else, and that he's willing to drop up to $86,000 for the privilege. Of course, you can only stay so humble for so long. I mean, he starred in 3 of the top 10 highest-grossing movies of all time, so naturally, the urge to get a flashier car could only be held off for so long. So that's what leads us to the Audi R8. This car is not the spacious, luxurious ride he's known for. It has 2 seats and will go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.6 seconds. It will also hit speeds of up to 200 miles per hour. This is the kind of car that screams, "I'm still humble, but in case you forgot, I'm Captain America." If that doesn't get the point across, his Chevrolet Suburban probably says it all. At $75,000, this isn't exactly the kind of car you'd expect a movie star to drive. Of course, if you decked it out to look like the Captain America mobile, it does live up to the Hollywood hype. He showed up to the Captain America the Winter Soldier red carpet with his drivable trailer for the movie. Why that car? Well, it looks just like the one Nick Fury was driving in Winter Soldier. I can only assume Evans had it outfitted with bulletproof windows and a machine gun turret because he likes to commit. None of these are my favorite of his cars, though. That would be his 1967 Chevrolet Camaro. Not only is it the only car of his that I think Steve Rogers would drive, it also has a pretty cool story involving Iron Man himself. Unlike Evans, Robert Downey Jr. does not have a humble car collection. Like Tony Stark, he has no problem dropping serious cash on Corvettes, Ferraris, and Bentleys. I still think it would be a little too low-key for Tony Stark to drive. Still, he has an obvious taste for quality cars. What Annette put in work in picking out was the ultimate Avengers present for his superhero BFF. He spent $275,000 on a modified, fully restored 1967 Chevy Camaro RS. It was given several special touches to signify the end of their Avengers journey together. These included a cap shield steering wheel, an army green color, and a plaque that says Steve Rogers Special Edition. Yeah, that's gonna be a hard car to top. As far as flying goes, Evans has made it clear that he's not boarding with the rest of us. He takes plenty of pictures of what it's like living that private jet life. While the studios likely take the bill when he's jetting off to avenge somewhere, he'd have to pay any other time. These can go for $1,300 to $3,000 per flying hour. It is not cheap to fly to infinity and beyond in style. Evans is known for being very frank about his anxiety, and it's not hard to see why. There's a ton of pressure on a star as big as Evans to keep his brand. So he's hired a team of people to ensure that Chris Evans remains one of the best names in Hollywood even after Captain America. Naturally, the first thing he needs is a personal trainer to keep those pecs in the kind of shape that no Peggy Carter could resist. For that job, he hired none other than Simon Watterson. What? You don't recognize that name? Well, you know who does recognize it? James Bond, that's who. Yes, this former Royal Marine is responsible for sculpting the bodies of both Steve Rogers and Daniel Craig's 007. I don't think it's much of an exaggeration to say he builds the best pecs in the business. I mean, he also gave Adam Driver his legendary Kylo Ren bod. That pretty much proves it. So how much does a personal trainer like this cost? Well, high-end Hollywood trainers can make up to $500 a session. I would say that's money well spent. Having big muscles isn't enough when you have to walk down the red carpet with a guy like Chris Hemsworth. So he hired the services of Ilaria Urbanati as his personal stylist. If I had to sum up her skills, I would say that she is the woman to hire if you want to look like a modern Prince Charming. I mean, she also worked on Tom Hiddleston's signature style, which is legendary. For Evans, that's proved to be a bit of a challenge. He's got a bit of a bro attitude and a face that can blend in with the 85 other blonde Chris's in Hollywood. So she dresses him in softly colored tuxes that highlight his warmth and kindness. These stylists can make up to $1,000 a day. Evans is apparently a die-hard Disney fan, and frequently arranges trips to their theme parks with his family. I mean, the average family spends $4,000 to $7,500 for a week at Disney. There's no telling how much on top of that you can spend when Captain America is fronting the bill. Honestly though, I think the one thing Evans cherishes the most is his dog Dodger. Pretty much anytime he posts on social media, it has something to do with him and Dodger staying in on the couch. While this rescue dog likely cost him $0 to buy, my guess is that the toys alone that he's bought for him are worth tens of thousands. That sort of thing is really not uncommon in Hollywood. Seeing as millions of dollars are being thrown at him for projects like Little Shop of Horrors, I think we'll be talking again soon.